a book business agency that offers coaching, consulting, project management, and business support services for authors and indie publishers. Her book that she's going to talk about and her mission, The Profitable Author. Okay, guys? 1,001 ways to build a business you love around your books.
Thank you. It's good to be back here. We've heard from the fiction authors, the nonfiction authors, why to write and why to start now. Christina's advice was right on. And I'm here, I'm just going to take a few minutes, promise, to plant a seed for when you write your book, to think about the fact that you're going to have to share it. You're going to have to market it and sell it, and that is a good thing. That's a good thing because you want as many people as possible to read your book and appreciate what you have contributed. So I really encourage authors to take an entrepreneurial approach to their book, and that is what I'm talking about. I was an indie publisher for 25 years. If you saw my son here earlier, he's 15. He's one of those teens Tony just sang about. Very helpful. And one thing I realized after he was born was that my staff was running my business and I was giving away half my time helping other authors and publishers for free. And that's when I realized the thing that I love to do was, you know, when they say do it, you know, you love so much you would do it for free. I said, oh, that's it. So overlapping, I was a publisher, and then I started this consulting and coaching and project management business that just provides custom solutions for authors and indie publishers. But what I write and teach about is building a business, because I think that is what I learned most from my years as a publisher. I saw what worked for the 99% of authors. So not the 1% that have great literary genius, are well connected, have just tapped into the latest trend, but the rest of us. And so I think I've seen what works for the rest of us when we commit to a plan. And I talked about this when I was here last, and it's 7 things. And so I'm just gonna review them to just get going. One is know it's possible. It's possible, I'm not making it up. I've seen it. I've seen people turn one book into a side business or even a full-time business for 3 to 10 years. I mean, it requires a certain orientation, but that's part 2, is make the commitment. Make the commitment to building a business or a sustainable, income-generating, holistic author life you love around your books of any size or scope. I mean, a lot of people do this in their retirement. I work with retirement authors all the time. But there is something about making more than you spend. And not planning on it, or not wanting to make more than you spend, but planning on it. So make the commitment. Number 3, customize your sales and marketing to fit your life. To fit your life, your books, your goals, your schedule, your readers. Number 4 is do 5 things a day. Cinque. 5 things a day, every day, to promote your books. You might only need 3, you might need 8 things a day. The point is a daily commitment, a consistency in marketing and promotion, building a momentum, and so that you learn what actually works for you, what you like to do, and then you can keep on going. And 5, learn business as you go from where you are. You can be one of those dabblers, and it can be a hobby. I tell a lot of people, practice business as a hobby, just like you might pick up skateboarding or these other things we pick up in life. 6, tend to your mindset challenges as you go from where you are and develop your inner resources. I think most of us understand what this means is we don't like rejection, we don't like failure, we don't like being a beginner when we're 50 or 60 years old. So overcoming your mindset challenges as you can is a big part, I think, of staying in this game. And 7 is cultivate and lean on a network of support. So whether your goals are big, small, financial or non-financial, I do encourage all authors to take this entrepreneurial approach to their books. I think it's hands down the best way to get the things you want from your author life, and this is why. Entrepreneurs make things happen. We make things happen by taking chances, getting out of our comfort zone, continuously experimenting, exploring and testing ideas, being creative, innovative, imaginative by connecting with others, staying open to new experiences, taking advantage of the opportunities that present themselves. Over time, you learn, and we all know the publishers who say, the authors who say, but my publisher's not promoting my book. Over time, you learn not to wait for things when you take an entrepreneurial approach. You don't wait for things, you don't expect for things, you don't hope for things. You may occasionally find or discover or even attract good things, but you can always create things. Create solutions, create opportunities, create customers, create a business. And I want to remind people, writers and authors are inherently creative, and so are entrepreneurs. And I think this is an association that I'm trying to forge for people all the time. And you know, entrepreneurs and authors are not just creative and clever and artsy. We literally both make something from nothing. And if you tap into that, I think as a writer, even a reluctant writer, I think that will inspire you and keep you going as a reluctant business person. I also want to say that business is easier than writing. You can hate business. You may not like the idea of it, but it is easier than writing. You can hate business and love to write, and it's still easier than writing. Because we all know writing is arduous work. I think the longer I'm in the publishing space, the more I can't fathom the amount of research and work that goes into writing a book. It blows my mind sometimes, because now I see books. Every line I think, oh my God, how did they do this? So writing is hard work, mastering the craft of writing can take years, and nothing in the business world is like that. So I want to emphasize that. One of my favorite phrases about business is an open book test, and most people won't even copy the answers. So think about that. Business and any of its sub-skills are not rocket science. It's not novel writing. It's not writing a nonfiction book. It is. Here is an example. You could approach a store to carry your book and you can wing it. You can have zero knowledge, wing it. If it didn't go as you want, consider what might work better next time, and then try it again. 3 or 4 times tops. You will not need any greater mastery than that to walk into a store and say, can you sell this book? Can you book me for an event? And it's not just bookstores, it's gift shops, it's book clubs, it's organizations where you might speak at a luncheon. So you don't need to master anything. Not only that, you don't know, you're still nervous, you don't want to wing it, just ask Google or AI for a script. It's serious. Ask them for a script, write it in a way that makes sense, practice it, and then approach the librarian about doing an event at the library or whatever it may be. So in this book, I wrote The Profitable Author, 1,001 Ways to Build a Business You Love Around Your Books. Ironically, I wrote the content of this book as I was thinking of what I was going to do next when I closed my publishing company. So I started dumping all my knowledge into articles. I wrote about 300 and I'm still writing. And at one point I was like, oh, I actually have a specialty, and it's this. It's building a business around your authorship. And like I said, it can be any size or scope. It's just the concept of strategically approaching your writing so that you're making a little bit of money on it and you are getting the other things you want by being entrepreneurial and risk-taking and putting yourself out there. So I cover 15 different types of author income, 8 ways to customize your sales and marketing to fit you and who you are, the fact that there is no one right way to grow an author business, what I teach clients on repeat, how to earn a profit from day one and build. And there's 95 more articles that I think are my most read ones on this topic. Everything from getting started, author business model templates, building a business and entrepreneurship basics, sales and marketing, events, outreach, relationships and communication, productivity and time management, mindset issues, and coaching yourself. So I do have books for sale. I have a sign-up sheet if anyone wants a free 30-minute phone call. I talk to authors. It's no pressure, no strings call. If you would like to subscribe to my Substack, I write about author businesses for free and paid versions, but there's just a ton of content in the free Substack as well. So thank you very much for a few minutes of your time. I'm glad to be here. I'm just so amazed. I wish more organizations had events like this, because it's really, I think, getting people to write their stories is important. And I guess I would like to do a little shout out for 3 Italian-American novels that I read this past year. One is Tim Peretti's Ernie's Bleachers, which I think you may know him. I bought his book when I was here before, and I read it this past year. There is Ray Franz's book On the Heights, which you probably know. And there is a ex-CIA officer that I know, Carmen Amato, who wrote a series about Italian Americans in upstate New York during Prohibition called the Galliano Club, and it's kind of suspense. And it is based on her great-grandfather's story. He was law enforcement in that era, and so she turned his stories into books. Those are really great Italian-American stories that I've read this past year. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. I will take a couple questions if there are any, or you can just approach me during lunch.